Welcome back, everybody, to the Nosebleed Sports Podcast. I'm Chris Witt, and with me, as always, is Mr. Adam Schmidt. Adam, how are you today, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, you gave it a go. I appreciate that. You know what, man? I'm hanging in there like a hair and a biscuit today, bub.
Okay. That's good. That's not good, actually, but that's good. It sounds like it's good.
Yeah, it works. It works for the most part.
I think we've had this conversation before, though. If I find a hair in my biscuit, that's a very, very bad thing to me.
You know what? Sometimes you just got to eat a hair and make you feel a little better.
So I hear.
All right, Adam, we got a day of sports today, man. We got a lot of stuff going on. Major League Baseball is getting ready to start. So we obviously have to do our picks, maybe make a bet. I don't know. I know guaranteed whatever our bet was for basketball, I lost because I'm sure I took the Lakers and LeBron hung it up because he's sick and tired of this team and the team officially isn't in the playoffs. So I'm going to miss that.
Speaking of that, LeBron came out and said on Twitter, I'm shut down for the year.
Yeah, so he hung it up for the rest of the year.
You know what day he said that on?
No idea.
April 1st. I thought it was a joke.
You thought it was a joke? No, sir. Nope, that is not an April Fool's. My man, he only plays if there's a chance for playoffs. So, right, there's no reason else to even be playing for him because there's nothing else for an old man like that to do. So why not hang it up, get yourself ready for next year, and move on from there.
So the Lakers grossly underachieved this year, obviously. What is and by the way, they're still using that play-in game, so the top 10 teams have an opportunity in each conference to make the playoffs. That's how bad the Lakers season ended up. What do you think needs to happen for this Lakers team to play to their potential or to not be to make the playoffs and to be a top 2 or 3 seed?
I gotta tell you, man, the hardest thing to watch this. I think the biggest thing this year has been Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is the guy who's supposed to be, this torch is supposed to be passed to. He's supposed to be the star on this team. LeBron James is still playing like an MVP. He shouldn't have to be playing like an MVP every night. He should be great and should be an all-star and should be, a top 10 player in the league. But Anthony Davis is supposed to be that guy who is Kevin Durant or James Harden. He's supposed to be that guy putting those kind of numbers up on a consistent basis. But the only thing consistent about Anthony Davis is that he's made of glass and the guy sits on the bench with a t-shirt and a Louis Vuitton pants and I don't know, Mary Kay t-shirt or something. That's what I think. I truly believe that's what hurt them this year because, I mean, say what you want about Russ. I don't think that's the reason they are where they are. I think a lot of it has to do with, you just can't carry a team. You can only carry so many teams for so long if you're LeBron James. And he's done it with worse teams. I get it. But he's also older. It catches up to you, man. It's going to catch up to you. You physically cannot do that all the time. Tiger Woods physically cannot do certain things, right? It's just, no matter the older you get, it's just how it works. And we'll get to Tiger Woods a little bit later because you know me, Masters week, I'm super stoked about Tiger. We'll talk about that later, but I don't know. That's what I got on the Lakers. I don't have a lot to talk about. The Lakers aren't going to be in the playoffs. They literally mean nothing in the NBA right now. And yet we're starting the day off with it.
Isn't that amazing? Yeah. I mean, when the guy that's been the best player in the league for the last 15, 20 years, is on the team and they have at some point 2 of the other guys that were top 5 players in the league at some point in their careers. Yeah. You're kind of going to talk about them, but I agree with you though. I think number one is they have to be on the court at the same time. They didn't play very many games together. You would think though that even with when each one of them was in, and LeBron played more than AD did, but you still have Russell Westbrook and LeBron, or Russell Westbrook and AD, and Carmelo, and a couple other guys that they added to that they thought were going to be good pieces here.
And Carmelo was a good piece. If you look at Carmelo's numbers and his, what do they call that? It's like your over under or something like that.
Plus
it's like
minus.
Plus minus. There you go. His plus minus is probably the best on the team. Well, maybe outside of LeBron, obviously, but I bet you his plus minus is better than anybody else on that team.
Maybe, yeah, and he's
fit into his role very well.
That's the thing. He when he got on with the Trailblazers a couple years ago or whatever, he finally got that where he knows he's not going to be the number one option, even the number two option,
or the number three option.
And
he was here for the Lakers there for a while, but
but it seems like he's okay with that now. Although I'm sure he's less okay with it when they're struggling so bad. Yeah. But if they're winning, if everybody's on the floor at the same time and they're winning, I'm sure he'd be happy with that.
Yeah.
But anyway,
there's always next year.
Another good thing that I liked about the Lakers not making it is that the San Antonio Spurs have been on a great streak to end the season, and they snuck into that 10 spot. So I love this. I love when the Spurs get a chance. I mean, are they going to win anything in the playoffs? Nah, but opportunity to maybe play a first round game.
They're there. Yep, they're there. How long's Pop got left?
This is probably it.
You think
this year or next year? I would think
1 or 2. And does that mean Timmy D's taking over, or is that girl taking over? Is she going to be the first head coach in the NBA?
Becky Hammond got a job in the WNBA as a head
my
coach.
bad. See, I don't even know any of this.
And Tim Duncan's not. He's not on the bench anymore. He's not.
Holy cow! This, I'm going to tell you. I'll be completely honest. I'm usually a huge NBA guy and watched a ton of NBA. I have watched very little this year. Maybe it's because the Lakers sucked most of the year, but I really have not watched a lot of NBA this year. Parker loves when the Lakers are playing, and he watched the Lakers Bucks game. I recorded it for him. He loves the Lakers Golden State. Whenever LeBron is playing another superstar, he loves those games. But outside of just, little bits and pieces, man, I have not seen too much basketball this year.
I've seen a lot less of it too, to be honest with you. I missed a lot. Most of the NCAA tournament I missed.
Yeah.
Just got a lot of other stuff going on.
I'll tell you, man, we're getting older. We got a lot of there. There's a lot more responsibilities that we have, man. I used to be able to take that NCAA, that first weekend of the tournament off and just watch basketball for 4 days. That's all I would do. I would go to bed when the last game was over, and I'd wake up an hour before the first game started. And that's all I did. It was basketball for 4 straight days. And the first day I didn't see a single game.
Yeah.
At the end, I watched the last 4 games of the night. I watched those.
Same for me. Yeah, that happened to me too. And when the late games come on, whether it's NBA or college, I'm like, when it's coming on and it's 9:30, 10:30, almost 11 o'clock in some cases, I'm like, God, please be a blowout early so I can feel better about going to bed. So I can turn this thing off.
I can turn it off. So speaking of that, so let's get into the NCAA tournament, right? So the Kansas Jayhawks win the NCAA tournament. However, this game started at 9:30. Yeah. I fell asleep. I putting the kids to bed. I lay in bed with them for a little bit. I fell asleep. I woke up, came down. It was halftime. So first off, staying up to watch it is difficult enough. 9:30, and if you are watching it, and all of a sudden you see that North Carolina is up by 15 at half, how many people turned that off and went to bed at halftime?
That was a game, though, that that was a game that you still felt, at least I did, I still felt like Kansas is not, the game's not over. Right? We talked about
it during halftime. Yeah.
And I think we both agreed that Kansas has a big run in them.
Somewhere. You knew they had a run in them. Yeah. They're too good of a team not to have a run. And it wasn't even, I can't say that guy's name, Ashabi whatever.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't even him. In fact, to start that second half, when they went on that 14-7 run to start the first half or whatever it was, he missed 4 free throws. And apparently he's a 78, 80% free throw shooter. He missed 4 free throws in that run. And I remember thinking, man, if this is their number one player, this is the number one pick in the NBA draft, and he can't hit a free throw in the biggest game of his life, and he's the best free throw shooter maybe not the best, but he's a good free throw shooter. They're going to lose this game to North Carolina, even though they were making a comeback at the time. I have to admit, I fell asleep on the couch, and I woke up a couple times, and I'm like, I fell asleep when they took, I think when they tied it the first time, which was like just after the first TV timeout. So it was like 15 minutes into the game. And I think that into the second half, and they tied it, and I fell asleep. And I kept waking up here and there, and I woke up and I got to see the last 20 seconds, which was the craziest 20 seconds in the entire world. But McCormick, I think they basically just put that ball in his hands, and he said, "I'm not losing today. You don't understand. I'm not losing this game." He took the ball and he put the game in his hands, on his shoulders, literally those big, monstrous shoulders that he has, and he won it for him. I mean, he hit the last game. He hit the game-winning bucket. 20 seconds left. They're up by whatever. What was it? They were up by. Was it 2 at the time or 3? What did they win by? They won by 3. Yeah. So they're up by 3, and then there's 20 seconds left. You're thinking quick shot, foul. The longest 20 seconds in the finals of a game that where there wasn't multiple possessions. It was one possession at 20 seconds, and good night, that was insane.
Yeah,
North Carolina got every chance.
Yeah, man. God, you feel bad for the North Carolina kids because they looked so good in the first half. And as a matter of fact, the first like 3 or 4 possessions, I was like, man, Kansas might blow them out because they looked so good on defense. And then Carolina went on a big run basically for the rest of the half.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, wow, I don't know. And then we talked about it. Kansas still has something left in them. I think it's still going to be a close game. Again, thinking, but if Carolina goes up by 25 or 30, I might be heading to sleep.
Yep.
And but it was. I mean, I was glad they came back for the national championship game, man. That's the time that you're gonna stay up. I want to stay up. I'm okay. I'm gonna suffer the next day, but that's the game I want to be the best one.
Yeah.
And it was really good.
It was a great game from that I missed. Have you ever done the thing where you're sitting on the couch, all the lights are out, just the TV's on, and you're just sitting there, and you take the pillow from the couch and you go, well, I'm going to watch the rest of this game while I'm just laying here instead of sitting? That was the mistake I made. The second my head hit that pillow, I was out like a light.
Let me tell you, it's interesting you say that. I am not a lights off TV watcher.
Oh, real quick, by any means, I am not as well.
Oh.
However, the kids were sleeping, and the light for the living room is the hall light. It's connected to the hall light upstairs as well. So I keep that off so it doesn't have light shining in the kids' room. That's the only reason the lights were off. Because I turn lights. Everybody in my house can do anything with lights off except for me. I walk around, turn every light in the house on. I'm that guy.
Me too.
Every light in my house is on. Every light. And then everybody hates. My wife hates it. She runs behind me, turns every light off. But she'll be sitting. It'll be the middle of the day. Light coming in from the windows, and she's reading a book or something like that. And I'll go, how do you read in the dark? And I turn the light on. She's like, the sun's like, yeah, but there's no light. I need a light. Like the light should still be on. You turn the light on. We got electricity for a reason, right? I mean, Benjamin Franklin found electricity, and Thomas Edison gave us this beautiful thing called a light bulb. Use them, man.
100% agree. 100%. I'm lights on. I've like dated people before that want to, you turn on the show or movie or something like that, lights off. Oh God. Every time I'm like, come on, man, we got to turn the lights on. I'm a lights on guy. I'm a lights on guy all the time. I will always try to remember to turn a light off as I'm leaving a room if I'm not coming back in.
I'm terrible at that. I try to remember to do that, but I'm terrible at that.
Once in a while though, I'll walk into another room and then like into another room after that and see a room down the hall that's still on from when I was in it before. I'm like, oh man, I forgot. Then I go turn that off. But and once in a while I will come home. I'll be gone all day long. I'll come home, see a light on. I'm like, I left that light on. I wasn't home all day and it was light out and I left the light on.
That doesn't bother me at all. That doesn't bother me.
If it's one, I always keep a light in the living room on, whether I'm like all night. I always do.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm a light guy.
I'll tell you, I mean, we've talked about this before. I'm out of town once a week. I go to bed with the lights on. It don't bother me one bit. I fall asleep right there, the lights on, and I'll turn the TV off, keep the lights on. I don't care.
I do too.
Mostly because I'm scared of the dark.
Me too. I'm the same. I'm the same. We have talked about this. I'm the same. And yes, I will sleep. I will fall asleep usually Friday and Saturday nights. I will watch television in my living room. Lights are on, but once I go horizontal, once I'm putting my head on the pillow, I know it's not very long, not very much longer.
Out.
I'm out.
Yep. It don't take much for me, man. I'm getting old. I'm out of shape. I'm larger than I ever was before, which makes me a little lazier than I ever was before, which also means that I fall asleep way faster than I ever did before.
That's the best part about it, though. Right?
That's the greatest part about being a big boy now. But I'll tell you what. It got to the point there for a while where I had some buddies that would tell me, man, you got to make a decision. You can't be fat and skinny at the same time. You got to make a decision which one you're going to be. I made the decision, bud. I made that decision. When I hit 220, Daddy made that decision.
I have a friend I've known for 25 years or something like that. And he's like that. I won't see him or even talk to him sometimes for 6 months. And then I'll talk to him. We'll set something up. We'll go out one night or something like that. So once in a while he's fat. Once in a while he's skinny. Never know who I'm going to see.
Never know you're going to see when you catch up with him, right? Yep. It is what it is, man.
Yep. I know he's going to be a little more fun when he's fat, and but he's going to be healthier, and I'm happy for him when he's skinny.
Yep.
So it's whatever, you know.
There you go. It is what it is. Oh man. Oh, to be fat and skinny all over again. All right. So that's Lakers. Let's talk about Tiger before we get into our baseball picks. What do you think? Tiger Woods shows up on Sunday, the Sunday before the Masters, to play around. There's a lot of talk. Why? Well, Tiger just showed Tiger's here. Tiger got there on Sunday. And you start hearing all these people talk about the only people that come on Sunday are people that are playing. Right. That's the only time anybody comes on Sunday is if you're planning on playing in the Masters. And they're like, well, Tiger can't play. Like, it's been a year and like a day or whatever, however long it's been since his leg was being held on with a toothpick and a crazy straw. I mean, they literally said that they might have had to amputate. I mean, that's not a joke. The doctor, they came out and said they were close to having to amputate his leg.
The crazy straw thing was a joke, and it was a good one too.
Yeah, thanks. So the toothpick too. I mean, they might have used the toothpick. Good. I don't know, but so
sounds like MacGyver put his leg back
together.
Yeah,
he did. Well, I mean, who knows how long that dude was in that ditch? Who knows? Maybe MacGyver did come in there and give him a little hand. So anyway, so Tiger shows up, and they're like, "There's no reason. There must be some kind of media thing he's doing. There must be something going on." Goes out, plays 9 holes. Monday. I think he played 27 or he played 18 or 27 on Monday. I can't remember. Either way, whatever it is, my man's been playing. And he says that he is going to play. His body is recovering. The swelling goes down every night. He's got a whole team there with him. Trust me, I bet he's got 30 doctors in there with him, and they're keeping the swelling down in his leg. Watching him walk around the last couple days doesn't look, I don't see a noticeable limp. I don't see a limp at all. He's walking. I watched him walk down a hill. Look good. That was his big thing. He's been playing golf, but he was nervous about walking. He didn't know how much he could take. When Tiger Woods is playing golf is just a little different.
Yeah. Way more people watch it for sure.
Without a doubt. I mean, does it surprise you that Tiger is playing in the Masters?
A little bit. At first, I was like, "Oh, okay, Tiger's playing," and then I forgot how bad the accident was.
Yeah,
and because I think you were the one that reminded me, like, yeah, it's not been that long, and it was a really severe injury and
complete reconstructive surgery on his knee.
Yeah, and mostly it was cosmetic. He just wanted a knee job.
Sometimes you got to get a little silicone in there.
He just got got a couple of pumps in there, and it's a good looking knee now.
Yeah. It's hard to keep your eyes off, man. That thing, as he walks, that thing's moving back and forth. I'll tell you what.
Yeah. His knee wiggles just the right way, right?
That's right.
So
they're still pretty firm though now. I mean, it's still a fresh knee job, so it's nice and firm.
It looks good. It looks good.
It feels like the real thing.
So
I saw him a couple times. There's videos of him. You watch. Pulls his shorts up, and he's like, "No, seriously, feel them. They feel like the real thing."
Neavage.
Neavage. I like it.
Okay. Okay. Anyway,
Adam's like, "Okay, we're done with this. Let's go."
All right. But anyway, yes, Tiger is playing. I'm not a huge golf guy like you are, but I might watch some of this, and I might watch a little bit just because it's the Masters anyway. But I might be a little more inclined because Tiger's going to play, and it'll be interesting to see, especially on the first day before he gets 20 or 25 strokes behind the leader or whatever.
So 50 is the number, is the cut. Okay, so Friday you got to be in the top 50. After ties and stuff like that, it's usually around 55 to 60, somewhere in that number.
Okay.
Can he make that? Do you think Tiger Woods has only not made the cut at the Masters one time, and it was when he was still an amateur in 96, and he came back and won the whole thing in 97. So
I think the thing is, I don't think he's going to put himself in the position if he doesn't think he can do it. I mean,
he would not be playing right now if he didn't think he could do it.
Yeah. If he thinks he's not healthy enough to make the cut, he's not healthy enough to play good enough golf to make the cut, he wouldn't bother with it.
He's too competitive. Tiger's too competitive of a guy, I think, to do that.
Yeah. I mean, is the competitive spirit driving him to do it? Maybe he's not quite ready and he's driving to do him, or is he so competitive that he's like, I know I'm not going to be good enough to win, so I'm not going to do it because I don't want to.
I don't know, man. Nothing surprises me with Tiger anymore. When he came back and won that Masters, I guess it's been 2018 now, 19. I don't even remember when it was now. When he came back and won that after all the back surgeries and everything he had there, we talked about it here. I cried like a baby after he walked off and gave his kids a hug and all that stuff. It's the coolest thing in the world, seeing that. And nothing surprises me with Tiger anymore. I'm not going to come out here and say the Tiger's going to win this thing. But if he did, would it surprise me? No. Would it be another unbelievable story in Tiger Woods' storied life? Yeah, it would be an insane chapter in his life, an ending to an insane chapter in his life to put onto the next chapter of whatever it is. But this, if I'm not mistaken, this is the shortest of all the majors. Right. So it's the when I talk about that yardage wise, total yardage of the course is the shortest of all the majors.
Okay.
Tiger's still booming the ball 320, 330. They were saying the last couple of days, I'm pretty sure it's like 170, 170 or something like that is where the ball speed's coming off at. And so he's playing at an elite level in his practice rounds. And he's going to be able to put himself in the best positions. He's played this golf course so many times. He knows exactly where to be at all times. And they're saying he's hitting balls straight. He's hitting that power cut that he does. He's everything that Tiger does well. He's been able to do the last 3 days. That being said, tomorrow is Thursday. Tomorrow is the big day. For most people, I would say that changes the way you play. But for Tiger, I think Tiger stays as calm as ever. He has nothing to lose right now. And if he's got good control of the ball, he knows this course better than anyone playing it right now in this Masters. There's no reason to think Tiger can't be in contention at the end. I'm not saying he's winning, but there's no reason he wouldn't be in the top 10 on Sunday.
How many majors is he behind the record?
3, I think. 3 or 4, I don't know. It's a big enough number to where he's getting older to where it's starting to be, I don't know if it's going to happen anymore.
Yeah, I think people started talking about that when he had the whole thing with his wife and all that kind of stuff. And he came
the back surgeries were the big one. The back surgery was the big thing. When he started having all these back issues before the first back surgery is when he kind of started slowing down. Playing less tournaments, playing just a lot less. But you're right.
Because before that, people were like, okay, he's going to blow right past them and he's going to set the record and it's never going to be achievable again or whatever. Yeah. But
I mean, he already has the wins record, which is still unbelievable.
Okay. So aside from Tiger, who's the number one guy in the world right now?
Scheffler, maybe? I don't know. I'd have to look that up. Scotty Scheffler, or is it I want to say it's Scotty. All right, keep talking. What was your question going to be?
Is it maybe it's Lee Trevino?
Yeah. I think he's dead, bud.
Is he? Gosh, I'm sorry. R.I.P. Lee. All right. Well, Who was?
I was right.
Pick?
It's Scotty Scheffler.
Okay.
Scotty Scheffler's number 1. John Rahm's number 2.
Are either of those guys your pick to win this thing?
John Rahm, I love John Rahm. I think that dude can walk out and win a tournament anytime. Scotty Scheffler is the number 1 golfer in the world right now. So obviously, yeah. Dude, I love the Tiger thing, right? Like I would love to pick Tiger, but the guy that I have been thinking is on this precipice of jumping through and getting to that next level has been Justin Thomas for a while. He's been in the top 5, sometimes top number 1 golfer in the world. And he also plays with, he belongs to the same country club as Tiger, plays a lot of golf with Tiger. He's learned a lot from Tiger. Justin Thomas looks like he's 12 years old, and the guy's unbelievable. I'm going to take Justin Thomas in this. I think Justin Thomas wins it, but there's so many great golfers out there right now. John Rahm is as good as anybody. Scheffler's obviously he's number 1 in the world. Rory McIlroy was number 1 in the world until it hasn't been that long since he lost that title. I mean, there's a lot of really good golfers that are there right now.
Fuzzy Zeller.
Greg Norman.
Let's see, Greg Norman.
Freddie Couples.
Sure.
Yeah, I love. What's the? I don't know. So talking golf with Adam is so difficult. It's like I know when Joe Leonard wants to talk soccer with us, and we're just like, yeah, sure, Pele was really good, wasn't he? And it's like I don't know anything about soccer, and you don't follow golf in any way, shape, or form. I love golf. I don't follow it as much as I did the last couple of years but because it was basically the only sport being played. But I don't follow it as much as I'd like. But when it comes to the Masters this weekend it's just a fun weekend for me. It's what it's all about. This is what it's all about.
I might watch a little. Usually I end up watching a little bit of the Masters. I don't know how much I'll be able to see this weekend because there's a lot going on. But
I usually take a customer out and we'll go have a lunch and kick back a couple cold ones while we're watching the Masters.
Is it specifically a customer that is going to want to watch the Masters?
Well, I would never take anybody out. Yeah, if the tournament comes up, I plan on who I'm taking out to lunch on the tournament. When the Masters is on Thursday and Friday, I plan on who I'm taking out to lunch. I'm not just going to go, hey guys, let's go to lunch. And then be like, all right, we're going to sit here for an hour and a half at lunch, 2 hours today. And we're just going to watch that TV and talk about it. No, man, I definitely make sure that I have a plan. Call ahead. We'll call it a call ahead.
I got you. And that's smart. But I'll tell you, I would go sit somewhere, eat some food and just hang and chat. And keep an eye on the Masters for a couple hours. I would do that.
All right, what are you doing for lunch tomorrow, bub?
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
Working.
All right. Are you working from home or are you working you at the office?
I will be at home tomorrow.
All right. What are you doing for lunch tomorrow?
Same thing I always do. Order DoorDash, spend $35 on a burger and
dude, I pay for that DoorDash, that deal for DoorDash, where you get the
Dash Pass.
The Dash Pass.
So do I.
Man, but the amount of money that you spend on food is I'm not saving any money.
I don't know, man. I think you're usually saving at least $2 or $3 every time.
Yeah, but on the delivery fee, but do you know how much more the food is?
Yeah.
It's like 10% more than, maybe not 10%, but it's pretty daggone close. There's a markup on the grub itself.
Plus you're tipping. And
yep. Yeah, plus the tip.
It's so high. I know. I spent so much money on that stuff. It's dumb. It's a dumb investment, but I use it a lot, so it makes me feel better. That I'm saving $2 every time on a $25 burger.
My father-in-law has a guy that he works with who gets DoorDash every single day, and like the dude will get anything from Wendy's cheeseburger to like Outback Steakhouse steak.
During the pandemic, man, when we were all at home, I was at home by myself. I was doing it every day. For 4 or 5 months, ordered a cinnamon roll because McDonald's brought the cinnamon roll back. I ordered 2 cinnamon rolls every day from McDonald's from DoorDash for 4 or 5 months.
And spent $15.
Yeah.
That's insane.
And then would order something else for lunch on DoorDash, and then sometimes for dinner as well.
Sometimes for dinner as well.
Yeah. And then I did that until I threw up one day, and I'd never ordered McDonald's again.
Is that the truth?
Yes.
I can't. Yeah. I don't know, man. The McDonald's thing is, dude, I can eat anything. I don't really care. I'm not gonna lie to you. I eat anything,
hair on
man.
biscuits. You're eating hairy biscuits.
Yeah, I eat a hairy biscuit. I mean, if I got to, I just ask you to hock up a good loogie. I'll eat a little bit of that if I have to. I don't care.
Foul. That's a technical foul.
Yeah, that might have been too far. Might have been too far. All right.
Let's go to, by the way, my pick for the Masters is John Rahm's brother. I don't know if you've ever seen him golf, but it's CD. All right, so that's my pick for the Masters. Did you say John Rahm?
I did.
Pick?
No.
It was
Justin Thomas.
Justin Thomas.
JT.
12-year-old dude.
Yeah.
All right. Look, all we have now is what is it? Baseball.
Baseball, bud. Let's get our baseball picks up.
All right. So every year we do this, and we pick the winners of each division, aka who's going to make the playoffs. And now there are 3 wild card teams in each league. So I always forget to go back and look at what our picks are.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure I've done very poorly in this most years, but we're excited about baseball. It's crept up on us like it has the last couple of years. I feel like,
without a doubt,
and especially now. I mean, but usually it starts like the day that the NCAA tournament championship game is on. That was different this year. They're starting later because spring training started later because of the collective bargaining agreement, the lockout, and everything. But it's here. It's here. We're going to have a full 162. They're going to jumble some games in there, some doubleheaders, and some, taking some off days away and that kind of thing. But that's what they got to do to make some money. So
that's what it's all about in the end.
Chris, do you have who do you have as your American League East? Do you want to start in the American League East? I should just ask.
We can start anywhere you want, bub.
Let's start in the American League East. Who do you like to win that? Probably the best division, in my opinion, in the entire baseball.
There's no doubt. So the American League East is, I mean, like you said, it might be the best division in all of baseball. So you have Yankees, you've got the Red Sox, you've got the Rays. Is Toronto? What? Yeah, Toronto. I mean, that's it. There you go. All 4 of those are probably top 10 teams in baseball right now.
Yeah, and then you have the Orioles, but don't worry about that.
So
they're going to be bad again.
Let's play around with this, right? Let's mess around. I think a lot of people are doing it anyway, but it's hard not to take the Yankees or the Red Sox just because it's the Yankees and the Red Sox and they win it every year. But the Rays and the Blue Jays, I believe in most power rankings, are actually rated higher than both of them. I love Vladimir Guerrero Jr. But I'm going to take the Rays.
Okay.
I'm going to take the Rays. They, a couple years ago during the pandemic, they had the great run, won the World Series and all that fun stuff. So I'm going to come back to the Rays in the East.
I think I'm going to go with, I guess we'll do it this way. We'll just,
let's go back and forth. That sounds good to me.
I'm going to go with the Blue Jays, but I'm telling you, it's really tough because the Rays are one of those teams. They have no household names really, even after they won. I mean, some people, but especially their pitching staff, they keep doing the same thing. They get a guy who's unbelievable, some young kid that you don't know about, and he's unbelievable, or maybe he's just a prospect or whatever, you've heard of him before, but he comes up and pitches his brains out, and they get 2 or 3 other guys doing the same thing.
Yeah, and they still have Tyler Glass now, who's going to be their ace, who is an absolute stud, which is the number one thing you need. But they've got Nick Anderson and Shane, a couple guys I've never heard of. Shane Baz and Pete Fairbanks apparently is joining that. But when you go through and start reading things about these Rays, they're huge on these guys. Mm-hmm. They really think the starting pitching staff is going to be as good as any other starting pitching staff, and you've only heard of one guy.
Yeah, and they won 100 games last year.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, it's hard for me to go against the Rays, honestly. And like you said, it's still weird to not pick the Yankees or Red Sox because they'll still be decent too, I would think.
Absolutely.
But it is kind of exciting to see these other teams in the American League East be good. I know you're always a Red Sox guy, but
but it's it's fun to see I like a division like this.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to beat up on each other, and it's going to be tough to win 100 games in this division because of how good the entire division is. It's going to come down to who's got the best record against the Orioles.
Yeah,
I'm not kidding. That's you. That in these situations, that's usually what it is. Who's got the best record against that bottom feeder? You know what I mean? Who let the Orioles beat them a few times when they shouldn't have? Because those should be sweeps. You have to sweep those guys in order to stay in contention in that division because they're that good.
Yeah. And then you've got to get some wins against other good teams like the White Sox and Twins and Astros and those kind of teams too. Okay, so I got Blue Jays. You have the Rays. How about the American League Central?
Central. Okay, so let me go back to my note here. So the Central in the American League. Oh, this was where I took the White Sox. I think the White Sox are probably going to be the one team in that division that's probably favored over everybody, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. Everything I've seen is the same way. I got the White Sox too. Put the Twins maybe up there because they've got a really good lineup. They added Carlos Correa.
Yes.
And they were a surprise team last year or 2 years ago. Maybe
they're going to hit the ball.
Led the league in home runs.
Yeah, they're going to hit the ball.
Yeah. So they'll be there, but I'm with you on the White Sox. That was easy. How about the American League West? Even easier?
Yeah, I mean, it's the team that's been there for the last, are we going on 10 years now? We're talking about a team that was thought of as the worst franchise in baseball for a while and turned it around. Talk about cheating, talk about whatever you want. It's been 10 straight years I feel like it's been 10 years of really, really good baseball out of these guys. Justin Verlander's still pitching for them. They've still got Altuve and the rest of that lineup and Bregman and those guys. This team is still very, very good. They went on a run last year, and yeah, I'm going to stick with I'm going to take the Astros.
I'm with you. It's hard to go against them in that division, and always want to root for Dusty Baker too. All right, how about should we do the American League wild card teams?
Yeah, we can go. Let's just stick with the American League. See what we got next.
All right. Who do you like for the 3 American League wildcard teams? Your favorite? You love adding more and more and more teams to the playoffs.
It's my least favorite thing in the entire world is to continue to add teams. But I'll tell you the first. So that's going to give me the Blue Jays, okay. And I'm going to take the Red Sox in that just because it's hard for me not to take the Sox. And then after that, it's tough, man. The 3 teams. You can go down and pretty much just say, okay, who do you want to go after, right? Let's take the Royals and say Zach Greinke goes in there and turns that team around. I'm going to put the Royals in it. There's going to be 7 teams vying for that 3rd spot, and they're all going to be within 2 or 3 games. It's going to be ridiculous, and it's going to be impossible to pick.
I agree with you. That Royals team is kind of exciting too, because Zach Greinke is back, and Bobby Witt Jr. It looks like a superstar in the making.
Yeah.
Okay, good for you. So
it's my cousin.
Cousin Bobby. American League wild card for me, I go with the Rays easily, and then
let's just flip flops our picks for the East.
Right. So Rays get in there, and then I'm gonna go and add the Yankees, add the Red Sox would be very easy for me. Just for fun, though, I'm going Twins, and I'm going to go Seattle Mariners.
Oh man, I looked at the Mariners, and I looked at that. They their roster's a little not something you would look at and go, oh, look at boom, a bunch of names that pop out. Their third baseman hit 49 home runs 3 years ago, but really has struggled at the plate for the last 2, right? And Suarez, we know all about him, and he's going to be their power hitter. Maybe this season goes how Eugenio Suarez season goes for them. They've got enough talent on the team to make a run. Be interesting.
They also added an all-star from last year in Jesse Winker.
Winker, yeah.
So, and they were a surprise. Yeah, they were a surprise team last year. They won a ton of games last year, and then they made some moves to try to get even better this year. Who knows? I feel like they could go either way. They could kind of plummet at some point and not be able to put all those new guys together or build on what they started last year.
Yeah.
I'm just going to take a chance on that one. How about the National League East?
National League East, I'm taking the Mets. I know the Braves are still the front runner in that. They won the World Series last year. Freddie Freeman's gone. They still they still have Acuna Jr. They still have Ozzie Albies. That team's really good. I'm going to take them as a wild card, but I'm going to put the Mets up there. The Mets spent a ton of money and tried to buy everybody they possibly could. And there's something about that Bulldog, buddy. I'm going to tell you what right now. There is no way in my life I will ever bet against the guy with two different color eyes in Max Scherzer.
Interesting that he and DeGrom are both starting this season on the injured list, but if those guys don't miss more than the first quarter of the season, they both come back and are healthy.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I mean, Acuna Jr. is sitting out the first part of I take that back. He's DH. I think they're just going to have him DH. Yeah.
Okay.
He's not going to be in the field, or at least that's what he's done throughout spring training. But you're right. I mean, but you're talking about two of the top three, maybe the two top pitchers in baseball at any given moment in time. Jacob DeGrom is the best pitcher in baseball. It has been for 4 years now.
I agree. Yeah, that's probably the best division in the National League, I would think, because I still I think the Phillies are still have a chance to be pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, they still have a couple pitchers that are really nice. Bryce Harper, they added Nick Castellanos. I don't know. But I'm going Braves. I'm going Braves because they only win. I don't remember a year in my life that they weren't.
Best teams in baseball. Yep. I understand. I'm with you.
Their pitching staff is still really good. Freddie Freeman is a massive loss, but still, and they're basically getting Acuna back because they won a World Series without him.
Yep.
And he was one of the best players in the league before he got hurt. So anyway, but the Mets are right there too. I'm with you. So you got Mets, I got Braves. National League Central.
Now, this is an easy one.
Yeah. Before I say this, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see Chris's hat. He also has Reds shorts on.
I do. I'm not going to take the Reds to win the division. All right. I know what we are coming up against. The Reds are not going to be as bad as everybody thinks they're going to be. I don't think this year. I don't think they're going to be, win 60 games and 65 games to be done. But they're also not going to win 85, 90 games either, right? They're going to be in that. I see them in that 75 mark somewhere in there. They'll be, and you never know. I mean, look, teams all the time that give you a little surprise halfway through the season. They go on a little bit of a run in July. They're right there. Maybe they're there and they make a move for a couple bullpen guys and push them over the edge. I'm not saying they don't have a chance, but I'm not taking them to win you're talking about the Brewers that have 3 Cy Young candidates on their team.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about a team that when we talked about before about having one of the best starting pitching staffs, they might have as good of anybody's starting pitching staff, and you don't even know who they all are outside of Freddie Peralta, maybe.
Yeah.
But Brandon Woodruff, Corbin Burns are both absolute studs, and it's going to be hard when you get into a short series with them, buddy. I'm going to tell you right now, they've got 3 bona fide guys that can shut anybody down.
I agree with you. I think it's Brewers pretty easily, but man, the Cardinals are, every time you think they're too old, they're they just didn't make enough moves in the offseason or whatever. They're like the Braves. They're always competitive.
They're just it's who the Cardinals are, man. It's in their blood.
And it's fun. It's a sentimental thing more than anything because he's a shell of himself now. But for Albert Pujols to come back and play his very last year with the Cardinals is so cool.
It is.
Even all the damage he did to the Reds and everything, I still love that. It's still very cool to me.
And the guy, he can hit a little bit still.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not out here killing it, but it's going to be fun to see him finish out his career in the Cardinal red. I'm happy for him, man.
How perfect is that?
Him and Molina get to play together one more time, and it's going to be fun.
How perfect is it that it's the year that they permanently added the DH in the National League?
Absolutely.
Yep. That's awesome.
Got a spot for him now.
That's it. Do we have to talk about the National League West?
I
Or
don't
should
think
we
so.
just...
I think that's probably the easiest division in the world. The Dodgers might win 125 games this year.
Yeah, they might win 160 games. All right, let's go to the National League wild card.
Okay. You want to start with your three? I've been starting every single time. Why don't you give me your three?
Why not? Same deal with the Braves and the Cardinals. You know who, and it drives me crazy because I always think they should be bad. The Giants. I'm staring right at Willie Mays with his Giants jersey on.
Yep.
The San Francisco Giants are always, always, always good. I think they won 3 World Series when they were not the best team in the league over the last 10 or 15 years. But somehow they're always good, and it's still happening. And they won the as good as that Dodgers roster was. The Giants won the National League West last year.
Well, there's a lot of injuries on the Dodgers side, and that comes with anything. So when injuries start climbing up on a team, but you saw what they did in the end. I mean, the Dodgers were as good as anybody.
Yeah. So I'm throwing the Giants in there. I'm throwing that's where the Mets come in. And then the third one was tough because there are a couple of teams I was working on, but I'm gonna go with the Phillies.
Going with the Phillies.
I'm doing a big National
League. You're doing
East.
A whole lot of National League East. So I had the Mets winning the East, which means that I'm putting the Braves in the wild card. I am going to take the Cardinals in the wild card for all the same reasons. The Reds and the Cubs suck, so it's going to mean that the Pirates, the Reds, Cubs, and Pirates suck, and we're the only team of 5 teams in the division, I think. So that means that the Brewers and the Cardinals are going to beat the brakes off of all of us, and they're going to get a lot of wins for that reason because the rest of their division isn't very good. So I'm going to take the Cardinals just because of the rest of that division, and they've got the ability to win the most games. So Braves, Cardinals, and I'm gonna go a little different, man. I tell you what, my boy, and this is all about the boy, right? My boy is as big a Fernando Tatis fan as you'll ever meet, and he loves Nando. Nando loves Nando, and so I'm going with I'm going to go with the Padres, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Padres should be good. I mean, underachieved last year, had a bunch of injuries as well. But yeah, you would think it would be kind of fun to see because last year we were going into it like, oh my God, are the Padres the team that are going to beat, that are going to win that division, even though the Dodgers are supposed to be the best team in the league. Now the Padres are competing. They added all those pitchers and everything, and then half of them didn't even pitch half the year. But yeah, the Padres could be right where we thought they were going to be last year.
I totally agree. That's where we're at. So do you want to go with so what are we going to do from here? Are we just going to say what our World Series is and pick a winner, or what do you want to do at this point?
Let's do that. Who do you have in the World Series?
All right, so I didn't go this far when I was thinking of all this stuff, so my notes in my phone only go so far. So just taking a look at this, and my big thing is pitching staffs, because once you get into the playoffs, pitching is everything because the game slows down in so many ways. So I think the Dodgers and the Brewers are in the National League play for the pennant. How do you not take the Dodgers? They are insane. This team, they're just as good as they were for the last 4 years, if not better. Maybe not better, but they're just as good as they've been.
You add Freddie Freeman.
Exactly. So I'm going to take the Dodgers, and then on the opposite side, let's have a little fun with it. You know what? I'm gonna say let's get the I'm gonna go with let's go Dodgers and Royals. Why not? I'm gonna go Dodgers. I'm gonna throw one big giant curveball out there and put the Royals in it.
Look at you. All right. I'm going pretty easy Dodgers for all the reasons we talked about. And then I'm going to go, I'm struggling between the Blue Jays and Rays. And just for, you know what? I was going to pick the Blue Jays, to be honest with you. But you're talking about pitching staffs. And
the Rays are good, but they're good.
I'm putting the Rays in it.
Do it. Tyler Glasnow is going to do his thing. Who's going to win it all?
Dodgers.
I can't not take the Dodgers. They're too good. Give me Dodgers or the field. It's hard not to take the Dodgers. That's how good they are right now.
Yeah.
On paper.
But
on paper, it only gets you so far, right? So
they've won one.
Yes,
And
exactly.
They've looked like
they've
this
looked
for
like
the
this
last
for
3
5
weeks,
years.
4, yeah, 5 years.
Yeah. So,
All right. Well,
all right, Adam. Well, you know what, Adam? That brings us to the end of the show, where we have our last two favorite, probably my favorite segments, probably my favorite things to do on this podcast. We have the Mount Rushmore and we have the comedy special. So if you would remind the people what your Mount Rushmore for this week was.
my Mount Rushmore was, and I was going for the theme of worst Mount Rushmore we've ever done on this podcast, and I think I achieved that. And that is anything on Netflix. What are your top 4 things on Netflix? I think I even left it so open that it was like that's ever been on Netflix, because shows and movies come and go. They have deals. I don't know how it all works exactly, but they have deals, and it's old shows. I mean, it's not Netflix only shows, but I just to be safe made a comprehensive list to make sure I have enough non-original Netflix shows and original Netflix shows, just in case you wanted to do it that way. So however you did yours, I'm prepared to.
Dude, I took it as if it was on Netflix or is on Netflix or anything, just something you've watched on Netflix. Your favorite things you've watched on Netflix is how I took it.
Ever, even if it's not on there anymore.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
So give us a go, bro. What do you got?
You want me to start?
Yep.
In that case, I'm going, I have to go with my favorite television show of all time for a while. It hasn't been available on there for a while, but the Andy Griffith Show I used to watch on Netflix all the time.
Why not? Exactly.
Because it was available. I'm going The Last Dance. The Last Dance, the Bulls documentary.
That was that originally on Netflix?
No, I think it was ESPN.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, I think
it was ESPN. And it's on Netflix now.
Yeah,
and so I mean, it's my favorite documentary maybe ever. I'm going with also no longer available, but over the pandemic I watched a ton of it. Jeopardy.
Jeopardy was on Netflix?
Jeopardy was on Netflix. Right now, Wheel of Fortune is on Netflix. Jeopardy was on Netflix, 75 million seasons. And I watched hours and hours of Jeopardy because I love that show.
That's so funny. I know so many people that watch Jeopardy. I do.
Yeah, my grandparents when I was growing up,
Jeopardy every day. Yeah. I mean, they're people you never know, you never guess. They're like, oh, they're diehard Jeopardy. Like,
I'm one of the dumbest guys I know. I watch Jeopardy all the time.
Do you ever get up there and just like start yelling out the answers before they ever get to them?
Sometimes I get a little,
Only happens when the sports things come up.
Absolutely.
I'm so annoyed with these smart people. It's not even funny.
That's one of the best things.
I hate that.
That's one of the best things on social media now is people put clips up of ridiculous answers.
Yes.
I just saw one the other day, and it's happening with Wheel of Fortune too. People saying like outlandish things. It's so funny. Somebody on, oh my God, I'll think of it by the time we get this over. But anyway, that's 3. I've got the Andy Griffith Show, The Last Dance, and Jeopardy. 4th. Holy cow! How do you pick only 4 shows that have ever been on?
Start running down them. What do you got?
I mean, I've got on this list Bumping Mics, which is a Netflix original, which was Dave Attell and Jeff Ross.
Dude,
did a 3 or 4
I'll
show.
give you that. That was good.
I loved that. I've watched it 3 times, the whole series. I've got Django Unchained. It's on there right now. One of my.
I just watched that for the first time on Netflix about a month ago.
Probably one of my top 5, 6, 7 movies ever.
That's isn't that a Quentin Tarantino?
Yeah.
Yep.
Jamie Foxx is fantastic in it.
That's the craziest. Like that. It's just great. That movie's just great. The end of that movie is the most bananas thing I've ever seen in my life.
The end of it's probably my least favorite part.
It's just that's why I didn't like it, was because the ending just got too.
It was too
ridiculous.
Shoot 'em up.
Yeah, it was too ridiculous for the way the rest of the movie was.
But it's a long movie. It's like a 2.5 hour movie or something, but it's fantastic, I think. Man, I have Tiger King on this thing. I know how bad it is.
I hate
but
Tiger.
I watched the whole thing twice. I was mesmerized.
Did you watch
by it.
the extra episodes that just
Yes.
came out too? Oh
I did. Yes, I did.
Wife is obsessed with that.
It's because it's such a train wreck. Adam Sandler 100% fresh, an Adam Sandler special after 20 years or whatever.
Yeah.
Came out on Netflix. I have that on here. The Scientology documentary from Leah Remini.
Dude, that's another one my wife was addicted to.
I was too.
Yeah.
That was so good. Shawshank Redemption is one of my favorite movies ever. That's on. I was just looking through all these things. That's on there. The Queen's Gambit is one that I normally wouldn't like. If I just went through the, you just see it come up. I'm like, that doesn't look like anything.
It's not like it's a chess. I mean, it's about chess. She plays a lot of chess, but it's more than that.
Yeah, it's more than that. It was a fun story to follow. Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee. That's a Netflix original.
That's a Netflix original with Jerry, old Seinfeld.
So is Norm Macdonald Has a Show.
Yep. All 6 episodes or whatever it was.
Yeah, it was not. It was short lived.
Not on there for long.
And then my next guest needs no introduction, which is David Letterman's project after he retired.
That was really cool.
Yeah,
that was really cool.
When he had comedians on, he had like Chappelle and a couple other guys on, but he also
the Kanye
had,
thing was a little crazy.
That Lizzo and Kim Kardashian, those were kind of dumb.
I didn't see the Lizzo one. I saw the Kim Kardashian one, and I saw the Kanye one, which were both different.
Yeah,
Kanye talks about his mental health the whole time and gets a little outlandish, but that's just who he is. So
yeah. But yeah, I mean, the Chappelle one was awesome because Chappelle was like, praising Dave the whole time, and Dave's not having David Letterman's not having that. He's like, "Shut up, you're the best," and he's like, "Shut up, you're the best," and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, and I like both those guys. But that's my whole list. Number 4, I'm gonna go really quickly with. I'm putting Bumping Mics on there.
Bumping Mics, that is really good. You got two of some of the best roasters in the world. Probably the guy who like is known for being the best roaster ever in Ross, and then you got Attell, who is as dirty a old man as you.
But one of the funniest comics.
He's so funny. He's so good. His little one-liners are pretty good.
Really good.
All right, so I'm going to tell you right now, my number 1 on Netflix, which is so easy for me. If you have not watched Peaky Blinders, dude, best show there is. They're having another season getting ready to come out, and then they're going to come out with a movie, and then it's going to be done. It's 4 or 5 seasons, dude. It is. I love the gangster kind of stuff, and the surprises that you wouldn't be expecting to happen. And, the mob boss being so much smarter than everybody else and having all the, and always being a step ahead. I love that stuff. So Peaky Blinders is amazing. My favorite TV show of all time, Seinfeld, is on there now. So I have been rewatching all of Seinfeld every chance I get, which is so much fun for me. So that's 2. And then number 3 for me is going to be a Netflix original, and we talked about it on the show. The Cabin was amazing. It was Bert Kreischer in The Cabin every episode, even the episode with Jenner on there, Caitlyn Jenner on there, is kind of goofy as it got for a second when it got real serious and kind of weird. As weird as that was amazing. The whole show was obviously the Miss Pat Kelly Cuoco episode was my favorite because the awkwardness that poor Kelly felt the entire time.
Joel McHale's really funny.
Joel McHale's great on that one. But Fortune, the one with Fortune where he's butt naked, or no, that was when he was naked and was Brazilian his butt.
That was Nikki Glaser.
That was Nikki Glaser. Yeah,
which was the Caitlyn Jenner episode.
Which was the Caitlyn Jenner episode. Yeah. So anyway, The Cabin was my number 3. So number 4 is tough. So I only wrote down 2 other things for my number 4 to try to pick from. Because another thing that I've been watching here lately, because it's on there, and I have all the DVDs of this as well as Seinfeld, but is Chappelle Show. And Chappelle Show's on there now.
I must put that on there.
And that, when Chappelle Show was out, I loved the Chappelle Show. So that's up there. And then the last one that I had on there it's new. It's new. It's a 3-part documentary, and I haven't finished it yet. The third, I'm on the third one right now. It's this dude named Cootie is a good. He's from Chicago. He's known Kanye since he was 17 years old. And he does a 3-part documentary called Gene JEEN Yuhs YUHS. I'm gonna tell you right now, dude. Just because of who Kanye is, and you know where his mind is all the time, to follow this dude from when he was 17 years old, 18 years old. I mean, he followed him all the way up until he got famous, and then was with him in spurts different times. And it goes all the way up until when he went on his rant when he was trying to run for president. You know what I mean? Talking about aborting his babies and stuff like that. Like when him and Kim were getting ready to go through their divorce. I still got a little bit of time left, but dude, it's pretty. It's hard not to watch. It's hard not to watch. I really enjoyed it. But I got to put Chappelle Show over it. I think my fourth is going to be Chappelle Show. So I'm going to go Peaky Blinders, Seinfeld, The Cabin, and Chappelle Show.
Those are great picks. I've never seen Peaky Blinders, but
dude, Peaky Blinders, I'm telling you right now, that's my favorite show.
Nice.
Well, I mean, Seinfeld's my favorite. What do they call those? Sitcom.
Okay.
Peaky Blinders is my favorite
drama series.
There you go. Yeah, drama series.
I also like, and I can only watch these at certain times of the day, I think, but all these docuseries with murderers and stuff, like true stories.
Oh yeah.
I watch a lot of that stuff. I watch a lot of the jail stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, like prison shows, documentaries about prisons and
Getting
stuff.
yourself ready so you know all the ins and outs.
You know, yeah.
Look, I'm gonna tell you what. I think I'd be all right in prison because I'd keep to myself, crack a couple jokes, make sure I'm friends with every single person in there. I make sure everybody knows. Like, look, hey, I know you skinhead, right? Like, yeah, I'm good with you. But look, man, this old black dude over here ain't that bad. You ain't gotta hate him all that much, right? Let me just be in the middle and just kind of mind my business. I'll be the guy in the library handing out books.
All right. I mean, if you're trying to get those groups together in prison,
I'm not trying to get them together. I'm just trying to keep them apart. I'm just trying to make sure everybody knows I'm with it. Like, hey, don't put me. Hey, I ain't one of them. Hey, I ain't one of them. You know what I mean?
So, Chris Stefano's girlfriend, who he has kids with and lives with and everything, her transgender uncle / aunt spent 20-25 years, something like that, in prison.
Mm-hmm.
In and out of prison, mostly in prison. Just got out 2 years ago, year and a half ago, something like that. And he has like brought her in, and him or her, sometimes it's him, sometimes it's her, but has brought her in to his world on his podcast all the time, traveling with him, going on stage with him and stuff. And so there's a lot of prison stories. She spent a lot of time in prison. Just today, I saw, like, she was saying on his podcast, number one thing, do not join a gang. Exactly what you just said.
Yep. Don't do it.
Don't join a gang. Yeah, because I guess you're going.
Although,
you're
do
going
I want
to
to take? Hold on a second. Hold on.
Do I want to take it?
Do I want to take advice from the girl guy that came out of prison? Right, like she may not have joined a gang, but she might have been involved in a few gang situations, if you will.
Apparently, she served time with like some like famous murderers and stuff. The son of Sam, she said she knew.
Yeah.
She served with him and a few other people. But anyway, very interesting. I like some of the prison shows though.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I'll watch every now and then. I just never really get into them too much.
Yeah.
That's good. That was better. That was a really good one, man. I thought you did good with that.
There's too much. There's too much.
There's too much, but you've got your faves. You've got your number ones. Problem is, there's so many that like they're my number one for the moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, Schitt's Creek was awesome. I loved Schitt's Creek, and I watched that whole thing there. I know it was on some other show, on some other thing, but I watched it all on Netflix. I like that too.
Yeah.
There's another one I forgot to put on there. So there you go.
All right. Well,
Earthquake. We got Earthquake left. Legendary. All right. So this is 35 minutes, produced by Mr. Dave Chappelle. Earthquake. I'm just gonna tell you right now, this is as hard as I've laughed in a very, very long time with these specials. This dude, he doesn't stop, right? It was continuous. Even when the crowd is cracking up, he was not stopping. He kept going. And it was, oh my gosh, some of it got so over the top. The doctor with the prostate exam. That was, oh my God, I was laughing so hard. I have trouble going back to it, thinking about it. I'm so horrible with remembering things on the spot, and I should take notes when I'm doing this stuff, but I didn't because I was laughing so hard. Help me out. He talked about can't do stuff to kids that you used to do. You know, that whole thing comes in there, and that was always good. What
the Aretha Franklin funeral?
Oh my gosh, being 3 weeks long. It took him. They cut off his cable. They cut his cable off. He's like, I've been watching Aretha. I've been at the Aretha Franklin. I didn't have time to pay my cable bill.
The pastor preached the whole entire Bible.
He started off. He walked in and said, "In the beginning." I was like, "Oh God, Lord, no." What does Adam and Eve have to do with her? Have to do with a funeral? Oh, so good. Aretha Franklin had a dress change halfway through the funeral. Who has a halftime of a funeral? Oh, so good. I'm telling you right now, that was it was I gave it a 4.8.
Wow.
I gave it a 4.8. I went about as high as I think I mean, this is as high as I've been in a very long time. I've given a couple fives out. I don't know that I've ever done a 4.9, but this was a 4. If you get a chance to watch this, holy macaroni and cheese, this dude is hilarious. From the beginning, I was laughing and I never stopped.
I agree with you. This was, I laughed a lot more at this one than I have the last few, at least. Yeah, I wrote down those things. I wrote down the prostate exam.
So funny.
He said he was getting ready. He was on the table and he looked back and he was greasing up too many fingers.
He's greasing up 3 fingers. He
He
joined me too.
Yeah, he really got me with
t-shirt and everything.
He really got me with, hold on, which finger are you gonna use? And he's like, I want that one that with the messed up knuckle. I don't want the football knuckle. The football knuckle had me laughing so hard.
He said he went in and out with that pinky so many times. I felt I joined me too. Oh my gosh. Oh my God.
He said, never mind, take it out. He's like, if I got colon cancer, leave it in there.
Leave it in there. I'll put it under God. He's talking about that's all started from the vaccine joke. That my favorite thing. So my favorite thing, he pulled the joke out, and it's my favorite thing to say to people all the time right now. Like, oh my God, you don't know what's in that vaccine. What are you doing? Man, I know for a fact that you've been doing dope and everything else for your entire life, and you're talking about this. Come on, man. Tell me you're not putting something in your body. You don't know. You used to go to parties and just grab handfuls of pills. You didn't even know what was in them. Not you personally, Adam, just people in general.
No.
He say doing A-ball. Everybody passing around the same joint. But you ain't putting the poison in you. Leave it up to God. He got car insurance. Everybody's got car insurance, 0 deductible. Ain't got no health insurance. I'll leave that. My car. I got 0 deductible on car. But I'm gonna leave. Oh, my lung. I leave that up to God. God ain't gonna let nothing happen to me.
The insurance thing was what started the whole prostate exam thing too. Because he got the Obamacare.
He got the Obamacare.
As soon as he got health insurance, he got every doctor. He got all the grams.
All the grams. I got a knee gram. I got a leg gram. I got a mammogram.
And that fed into the prostate exam. But man, yes. It was funny the whole time. There wasn't, I don't feel like there was a joke that I was like, that kind of stunk.
No.
I felt like
there wasn't.
All of his jokes, even if I didn't laugh hard at it, I was like, that's still pretty good.
Yeah. I would have gave this a 5 if it was an hour long, but it was only 35 minutes. So that's the only reason I got a 4.8.
For being 35 minutes. I kind of like the shorter one. But yeah, I agree with you.
I feel like if he could have gone an hour and kept me that enthralled and kept me laughing that hard, he could have got a 5. But for the 35 minutes, 4.8, because God bless America, that was funny.
I think I've always been a tougher rater than you have, and I think I'm getting tougher as we keep going for some reason.
Mine have been lower than yours the last few times.
Yeah. I mean, that last one was just kind of a weird one, but I gave it 4.4.
That's really good.
Pretty good.
It's still really good. I'm telling y'all, this is a 4.8. Look at me, listen to me. However you got to do it. Earthquake, legendary, Netflix. Watch it.
Really funny. Definitely worth watching.
So good. So
Matter of fact, I put it on my Mount Rushmore now.
there you go.
Fifth. It's a little small head.
Just check.
Yeah, a little small head on the side.
Man. All right, so that brings us to Mount Rushmore and comedy special for next week.
That's right. I will be choosing the comedy special. You will be choosing the Mount Rushmore. And I have my list. I'm pulling up my list, which, by the way, you have my word that I have this whole list on my phone of comedy specials. We've gone through more than half of them now, so I got to keep adding. But I did. I just added another one this week again because Mike Epps has a new one out.
Yep, we talked about that last week for a minute. Right.
Yep. But I think for next week, I think we're gonna go back to somebody that we have watched. We watched her last special, but she's got a new, and I was impressed. I think if I remember right, I think you were pretty impressed too. And it was her first special then. She kind of blew up a little bit after that special. And she's on tour. She's touring all over the place. She's selling places out. Taylor Tomlinson. It's called Look at You.
Look at You.
Look at You.
I feel like the last one was just in the summertime because I feel like I remember being in the pool watching it up against the house.
Quarter Life Crisis.
Yeah, that was what that one. Quarter Life Crisis. This is Taylor Tomlinson. What's it called?
Look at You.
Look at You. Oh, look at you.
It's on Netflix.
Look at you. Good
It's
job.
on Netflix.
Well, Adam, that's going to bring us to my least favorite thing to do on this podcast, which is pick Mount Rushmore.
By the way,
it's going to be so hard to trump yours that you just had.
It's going to be easy because I think it's stunk. But I didn't even finish my thought on that. I don't think it was that list I have of the comedians. I'm going to start a list. You didn't interrupt me. I just lost it like I always do. I'm going to start a list ahead of time of Mount Rushmore. So I am not doing things like, I need stuff on Netflix.
Yeah, I need to do the same thing. Dude, these are tough though.
They are.
We've done so many Mount Rushmores. I mean, we're coming up on it's more than 200 probably when we get there because we did probably 10, 15 episodes under a different name for a while. But we're coming up on the 200th Nosebleed Sports Podcast episode.
Yep.
I believe sometime in June, if I'm not mistaken.
Before that, I think.
Is it before that? Is this 190? This is 193. Yeah. So yeah, we got another. Oh, so yeah, we got another 7
weeks. Yeah.
Yeah. So end of May, beginning of June, somewhere in there. We got to figure out something big to do with that. Maybe that's when we'll have the Burger Brothers on, and maybe we'll figure something out get something fun going on here. All right. So maybe we go somewhere, just do a big old giant podcast and just have like 12 guests.
Nice. Yeah.
We have the Burger Brothers cater our 200th episode. We get Bobby Nightingale there. We get Adam Baum there. We get Andre Edwards there. We get Bobby Edwards. We get Joe Leonard. We get any guest that's ever been a part. Jim Schmidt. Any guest that's ever. We could fly Tyler in here too. So let's get them all in here. We were going to talk about getting Uncle Danny on here because Uncle Danny thinks that never mind. We won't get into the Giannis Antetokounmpo / who's he comparing him to?
Greg Oden.
Greg Oden. Yeah, we won't get into that conversation. That being said, my Mount Rushmore for this week is we've done Mount Rushmore of apps, haven't we? Yeah. We did. Tag on it.
We did.
I just thought of that and I thought it was a really good one. I was really excited about that. So let's do it this way.
we could always go back to ones we kind of did that one fairly recently, I feel like, but there are some that we've done so long ago that they could be different.
They could be totally different by now. But I'm, you know what? I'm a guy who's I'm gonna go Mount Rushmore. Oh, I was gonna go Mount Rushmore of baseballs. Like, what are your 4 favorite baseballs when you pick up you like the diamond baseball with the big with the big. I mean, I was gonna do that, but it'd be hard to come up with 4. So let's go. And I'd say golf balls, but you don't like. Yeah, I'd say golf balls, but you don't play golf.
Titleist.
I'd say let's go. I always look at the Vados up above your head and want to do cereal. And I know we've done that a million times, or probably just once. We've done breakfast meat. Yeah, because it was Geta and bacon. Man, all the fun things I'm thinking of just came up. Let's do this. I don't think we've done this. Maybe we have. Answer me if we have. I'm gonna go with Mount Rushmore of sandwiches. I'm talking subs. I'm talking 2 pieces of white bread. You get the whole deal. You got the Cuban, you got the Reuben, you got, like the Italian sub. You got you can pick a specific one from a specific restaurant if you like something specific. Sandwich, 2 pieces of bread, anything in between that doesn't have a burger. No burgers allowed.
Oh.
No burgers allowed.
No burger sandwich.
Those are burgers. We're not talking burgers. We're talking sandwiches.
Okay.
You don't call it a cheeseburger sandwich, do you?
Did we? I mean, no, but it is. I mean,
that's fine. In that case, then a hot dog's a sandwich.
No, that's different.
I mean, it's got 2 buns. It's got a bun. It's got 2 pieces of bread around a piece of meat.
Yeah, but it lays in there. That's totally different.
All right. Well, Subway is a sandwich, but they only cut their bun. They don't cut their bun all the way in half. You could say that's a bun then, and say it's no longer a sandwich. So if you're going to call a Subway sub a sandwich, then a hot dog's got to be a sandwich.
Disagree. But
what? Tell me why.
I feel,
but it's the exact same thing.
It's not the same thing. It's bread.
How's it not the same thing?
It's bread intended to be 2 different pieces of bread. It's just it comes as 1 piece of bread, and they just cut the one.
If it was intended to be 2 pieces of bread, they wouldn't get it wrong every single time they make a sandwich.
It's not that it's wrong. That's the way they cut the bread.
All right. Well, that's the way I cut the bread when I get a bun to put my hot dog inside a sandwich.
A bun is.
Let me ask you this:
then
you go to Skyline and you want a cheese coney that doesn't have a hot dog in it.
You're going to say chili sandwich with cheese.
What do you call it?
It doesn't.
It's a chili sandwich with cheese, man.
That's what they call it.
That's what I call it.
It's because they call it that.
But it's a sandwich.
I don't think.
If Skyline's calling it a sandwich, it's got a bun. Sandwich.
This is why I think we've done this one before, because I feel like we've had, and I thought we were on the same page at that time. I thought we both were like, hot dog's obviously not a sandwich.
I don't know. I just changed my mind just right now. I want to fight this. I'm going to fight this to the end now. A hot dog is a sandwich.
I mean,
so is a taco a sandwich? Is a soft taco? Now a soft taco is a sandwich.
No.
Yeah. A soft taco is now a sandwich in my world. 100%. Yes. My world. I am changing my life goals right now.
A taco is a sandwich.
Taco, it's a soft taco comes right around. Hard taco, it's a bread like material with meat and toppings in the middle. 100%.
So then
sandwich.
You get a Cholito at Skyline. That's a sandwich.
Cholito, yeah.
Interesting.
Cholito, that's tough. That's a full wrap. No, I don't like the full wrap.
I'm
gonna go full wrap is no longer.
What's the difference between the soft taco and the Cholito?
It's a full wrap. The soft taco is not a full wrap. That's just it's a cup. It's a U shape. Whereas the Cholito is like a burrito. The Cholito is like a burrito. That's a full wrap. Corners tucked, top all the way wrapped around. You can't see any of the insides. Okay. So I'm calling that a burrito.
So because they
yeah, that's a burrito.
Okay.
That's a burrito. Totally different than a sandwich. Totally. I don't even know how you could think that. How do you even come up with that? So you think a Cholito is a sandwich?
Yeah, I think it's a sandwich. I think it's obviously a sandwich. What are you talking about? How can you say a Cholito is not a sandwich? It has a bread-like material, and it has meat in between, meat sauce in between, and sometimes spaghetti and definitely cheese.
Yeah.
I don't get it with spaghetti.
I get it with onions. When I first saw the spaghetti, we were at is when I was working. This is 20 years ago, and I never when they first came out with those things, I never seen it. And in Saint Bernard, the waitress there swore to God that she invented. She called it a scalito. If you got a scalito, that was a Cholita with spaghetti inside of it. She swears she invented it. I don't think she did, but is it on the menu now? I think it's on the menu.
Yeah, I think it is.
I think the spaghetti inside's on the menu now.
Oh, with the spaghetti. Oh, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe not.
I think the Cholito's on there because for a long time it wasn't on there.
Right.
The Cholito period was not on the thing, but
you just had to know. You just had to be from the natty to know you get a Cholito.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, man, you can get a bad Cholito, man. These skylines around town, I can get me a nice, thick, big body Cholito, or I can get me a little toothpick that ain't nothing but wrap. And I can't stand that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Help a brother out, man. If you're making food for somebody, make it the way you want it.
Yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right. The different skylines around definitely have, sometimes you're getting smaller portions, sometimes you're getting bigger portions, sometimes you're getting a mountain of cheese, sometimes they're a little skimpy on the cheese.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing that I heard somebody say a while ago, and I've forgotten about it until just now, that I really wanted to try is Cholito with mustard in it.
Oh, really? So I don't get mustard on anything at Skyline. So
I love the mustard taste on the cheese coney.
Nah, when I get a chili sandwich with cheese, with onions,
mm-hmm.
and they put mustard in it.
The
worst is when they give me a hot dog and mustard. And it's like, this is not even close to what I asked for. But you know me, I'm gonna scarf it down and do what I do, right? I ain't telling anybody I screwed it up. I'm just gonna eat it.
Sure.
Oh, there's nothing worse than taking that first bite and getting mustard in your mouth. You're like, ugh.
I love when I see the mustard and I see a little bit on the bun coming out and stuff like that. I'm a mustard guy, man. I don't know.
I think they have the most. Creative way of placing mustard on a
stick.
It's just a popsicle stick.
They just dab your wiener sandwich.
Oh, your what? Say again. I'm sorry.
Wiener sandwich.
Sandwich. Okay, just making sure that I heard you correctly there, sir. Sandwich. Thank you.
Yeah. That's why they put mustard on it, because it's a sandwich, right?
Absolutely.
Anyway,
so we're doing Mount Rushmore sandwiches, and we are not going to do hot dogs. We're not going to do tacos.
Why? That's a sandwich.
Just quit. We're not doing hot dogs. We're not doing tacos, and we're not doing burgers. All right. You got to have some kind of lunch meat on it to be a sandwich.
Wait a minute now.
Okay. BLT. Okay. So BLT could be on there. This is why I feel like we've done this before.
Peanut butter and jelly, grilled cheese.
Absolutely. Yeah. Let's just say no burgers, tacos, or hot dogs.
Burgers, tacos, chili. That's the Amanda Brenneman. Anyway, nobody's gonna know what that is. But
that's what you use the Lars lean meat or whatever.
Yeah.
Yep. I say Lars. I think it's actually Laura's. It's Laura's, right?
Yeah.
But for some reason, every time her or Marty says it, it sounds like Lars. Yeah. Lars lean meat. Where y'all from? Oh, this is my daughter, Laura. There's an A at the end of that, Marty.
The first time they came out with that, the way she said burgers, tacos, chili, it was, we just laughed about it every time. And then they changed it, and she says the same things, or sometimes Marty says it.
Yeah.
And, but I think they realized that it was like, maybe we speed that up and say it a little more normal.
There you go.
Anyhow, this is a lot of sense. I mean, maybe this is just a Cincinnati podcast.
We totally dropped off the face of the earth at the end of this thing, Bob.
Sure.
Totally fell off the face of the earth. That's all right. That's we're allowed to do that. It is definitely allowed.
I was just telling somebody the other day, I tell people all the time, whenever somebody finds out about our podcast or whatever, or anything, it comes up at all, I'm like, it's not any good. Nobody listens to it. We only just do it for us.
Yeah. Do you find yourself doing that where you're like talking bad about it? Like, you know what? Yeah, I do a podcast, but you don't have to listen. I mean, I'm not saying like listen to it or anything.
I don't expect anybody to listen. We do this because we wanted to be Marty Brenneman growing up, and this is how we're doing it.
This is how it usually goes. It usually goes, oh man, I was just talking to my cousin about this on a podcast the other night. And they're like, podcast? You do a podcast? I'm like, Oh yeah, but no, I mean it's it's nothing special, nothing. It's just kind of just us, just kind of for us. You know what I mean? It's like our little time to talk kind of a thing. We just record it. Yeah. What's it called? I mean, you can look it up if you want. I mean, you don't feel like you have to. I immediately get into feeling really bad about. I just don't want somebody. People get into podcasts so big, and I don't want to waste an hour and a half of somebody's life, man. I want to do it. I feel like it'd be fun if you knew us, or So, I mean, it's fun for me. I enjoy it.
We have fun with it.
Yes,
we have a lot of fun with it. It happens a lot at Training Personally. By the way, if you're looking to get in shape,
and Peggy loves to talk about it.
Yeah, Training Personally, trainingpersonally.com, Training Personally on social media. Check it out. It's a gym. It's the best gym in the world. And it's
you can tell I've been training personally over here.
I saw on the screen your hand moving a weird way.
If you're watching YouTube right now, you can see my man titties bouncing in the wind. That's how well I've been hitting the old Training Personally these days.
It's very windy in here. Anyway, Training Personally, please check it out. Go visit. Peggy will greet you at the door and make you have a good time and make you want to come back and work out. It makes working out fun. But anyway, she talks about it a lot at her gym, and especially when I'm there, and I'm like, yeah, she'll bring it up. Oh, my nephews have the absolute best podcast in the whole world.
Don't you love that? I love family, right? Family's so great. Because let me tell you something. There ain't nobody in our family that listens to the podcast. No, I mean, your dad does. Your dad does. My dad goes on spurts. He'll listen to like 5 or 6 and then not listen for 2 months and then listen to and then get back on it. But yeah, 100%. My cousin listens to a bunch of them. Outside of like my cousin, my dad maybe, and definitely your dad. I the other day we're sitting at dinner real quick. I'm sorry. We were pushing this thing off like crazy. We're out eating Mexican after I don't even remember what we were doing. Oh, bowling. We're bowling. Mets core bowling, which was really tough for me when I walked in there. I didn't think it would be. It was actually really tough. The guy came up and shook my hand. Mike came over and it hit me. It hit me for a second. Anyway, Mets core, super great organization. And we did their little bowling fundraiser because my sister-in-law is part of that organization. So afterwards we go with my sister-in-law, brother-in-law, and mother-in-law, father-in-law, and all the kids. And we all go to Mexican restaurant down the street from bowling alley. And they start talking about Chris Rock and Will Smith. And my brother-in-law's getting a little over the top with it. And my father-in-law's like, well, I never should have brought this up, because most of the time my father-in-law brings something up purposely to get something rolling, right? I mean, I've talked about it on this all the time. Me and him get into politics, and we've been kicked out of the house before. The two of us, like, go downstairs, go outside, find somewhere else to go. You're too loud. So anyway, they start getting into it, and they're like, Chris, what do you think? You're sitting over. I said, you know what? I'll tell you what, you want to know what I think about it? Well, you guys do something you've never done before. Catch the Nosebleed Sports podcast that just came out 2 days ago, and you can hear exactly what I think about the Will Smith, Chris Rock thing. And I took everyone's phone. How do we find it? Oh, yeah, I would listen to that. Yeah, I will listen. You are not going to listen. You're saying that right now while I'm in front of you. It is okay to say I'm not going to listen to it. It's totally okay. But everybody's got to feel like they got to be nice about it. So guess what? I took 4 phones because they all wanted to know what it was. Pulled it up, pulled up the iTunes, hit subscribe, and download so every new episode is going to download to their phone. Yes. So their phone is going to fill up fast, and they're not going to have any idea why. It's because every week they're going to get 2 hours of our podcast saved to the hard drive of their phone.
Good. Hey, shout out to your in-law family.
They're still not going to listen to it, though.
Well, you know what? That's what it takes. If it comes up on their phone, they might see it.
Let's see what's going on.
And your beautiful face come up on there and be like, oh yeah. And then if we have a good title going, they'd be like, oh, what's that about?
Yeah, what did Adam and Chris talk about?
And if you're like my dad, all the NBA stuff, baseball stuff. Fast forward to Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, fast forward to when we start doing this. Fast forward to this. I'm not gonna lie to you. We could pull a podcast. I don't know if we could pull it off, but I would be cool just doing a podcast where we just sat down and just started talking about whatever was going on.
100%.
And just took the sports totally out of it.
If there's no sports,
I mean, if there's no sports going on, we can just talk about our lives in general.
We could do that easily.
I don't know who would even want to listen to that either, but why not? I don't know. Anyway, I enjoyed the sports part of it, even though I've gotten myself further and further away from sports over the years.
Here's the thing. That's the thing. And we're far more qualified to just talk about what we know very well, which is our whatever's going on in our lives.
Absolutely.
More so than having to crunch at the last minute before I come over here, trying to look up who went where in baseball over the offseason because I don't remember anything.
You mean as we start talking, pull up power rankings on your phone and start reading the little things that they have underneath? Yeah, no, I don't ever do that.
Yeah.
I'm always fully prepared for everything on this podcast.
You are. You've shown me your rundown and on 4 hours on Sunday prep, 4 hours on Monday, 6 hours Tuesday, the day before.
You got to really put the work
in. And then a couple hours the day of. And I'm very impressed.
Yeah. Not a lot of sleep, but that's all right. You know, it's all about the game, man. You know what I mean? You got to put the work in. You want to be on top. You got to put the work in.
Yep. And we are on top. I'll tell you that.
What a studio we have in here. Studio / art center for my wife.
Hey, we can talk sports. We can make t-shirts. We can do anything you want.
That's right. Absolutely. I don't know what else there is to do except let everybody know that Taylor Tomlinson next week, the newest Netflix special.
Look at you. That's okay. That's the name of it.
I thought you were telling me I did something good.
Also that.
Well done.
Double
well done, by the way. Yeah. I don't know. All of a sudden we're in Antarctica or something like that. Isn't that where the frozen tundra is? Oh no, it's Green Bay. Frozen tundra, double frozen tundra of Green Bay. What's the Mount Rushmore? Sandwiches. No burgers, no tacos, no burritos, no hot dogs.
Here, we're gonna call it sandwiches too, because I think we've done that before. Sandwiches too. But this goes perfect with, because you know what? We are gonna have two different, it might be similar, but I'll bet you if I find that, if we did do it, I'm going to go back and find out, and we're going to have different ones this time.
All right. I'm interested to find out.
We are 6 months older and more mature than the first time we did this.
If we did, see, I keep looking around. I'm like, oh, let's do the Mount Rushmore of glass. Let's do the Mount Rushmore of backpacks.
Spun, stained for glass, by the way.
Yes.
I don't know.
Spun glass. Oh. Spone.
What does that mean? No idea.
Blown. What about blown?
Blown glass.
Yeah, I'm a big blown glass kind of guy.
Yeah. Also, don't know what that means.
Yeah. Tempered
glass.
Yeah, I like the tempered.
We call it double pane.
Double pane is always good. Yep.
Featured in Ace Ventura.
Mm-hmm.
Double pane soundproof glass.
That's right.
No way that neighbor heard that scream. Whatever it was.
I love it. Jim Carrey. All right, man. Oh, quick, go.
Right before I came here, I saw on whatever it was, Facebook, something, a picture that Tommy Davidson posted of he and Jim Carrey together yesterday.
Help me out here. Help me out on this. It's probably I feel like the way you just brought this up, I should know who Tommy Davidson is.
Tommy Davidson, comedian, actor, was on In Living Color with Jim Carrey.
Oh, yeah. He's been on Wild 'N Out before. Oh,
Right.
By the way, Wild 'N Out is also one of my top 3 favorite shows. I wish that it would come on Netflix. Not season like 18 or 19 or something now, dude. Nick Cannon's Wild 'N Out is hilarious. Justina Valentine, killer. She's a boss on that thing, man. She's my favorite person on there.
Okay. Happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was just cool because in Living Color they worked together on that. And,
Yeah.
And he was also in Ace Ventura 2. Tommy Davidson was.
Yeah.
He was one of the.
He always played like the geeky guy, right? He had glasses, kind of a little guy,
A lot of times,
little scrawny guy.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. Nice. Yeah, that's the old
was
Living
fun.
Color days, man.
That was fun for me.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. All right, so there you go. So Jim Carrey, Tommy Davidson, Taylor Tomlinson, and the Mount Rushmore of sandwiches. Until next week, don't forget to turn your headlights on. Before I turn this off.